Nara lived on the bright, colorful planet of Velora. Velora was a beautiful place filled with tall trees that shined like glass, blue rivers that sang softly, and skies that changed color every hour. The people of Velora were known for their beauty. They had smooth skin that glowed gently in the dark, eyes that shone like stars, and hair that flowed like water. But Nara was different. She was the most beautiful of all. Nara's beauty was not just outside. Her smile could light up a room, and her voice was soft like the wind. But she had a secret that made her life very sad. For many years, Nara had tried to make friends with others, especially the males on her planet. But every time she tried to talk to them, every male rejected her. They would turn away, ignore her, or sometimes say hurtful words. This rejection was not because of anything she did. It was a curse. A curse that had been placed on her family many generations ago. Nara's mother told her the story of the curse when she was young. Long ago, an angry spirit had visited their family and put a spell on them. The curse meant that any male who saw Nara would feel no warmth or love for her. It was as if an invisible wall stood between her and the males. This curse made Nara very lonely. Her heart ached every day. She wanted to have friends, to laugh, and to feel the warmth of others. But instead, she felt cold and alone. The males of Velora started to whisper about Nara. Some said she was unlucky, some said she was dangerous, and some simply ignored her. The other females felt sorry for her but did not know how to help. Slowly, Nara became more isolated. One day, Nara stood by the glass river, looking at her reflection. Her eyes were full of sadness. She wished she could be free from the curse. She wished she could live a normal life. I cannot stay here, Nara thought. I cannot live in a place where I am always rejected. I must find a way to break this curse. With a deep breath, Nara made a decision. She would leave Velora. She would travel to the stars and find a place where the curse would not follow her. Maybe, somewhere far away, she could find kindness and hope. Nara packed a small bag with some food and a few precious stones from her planet. She said goodbye to her mother, who gave her a small necklace. This will protect you, her mother said softly. Remember, your true strength is inside you, not just in your beauty. Nara felt a small smile. She promised to be strong. Nara climbed into a small starship that was waiting for her. The ship was not very big, but it was fast and safe. She set the controls for a planet she had heard about, a blue and green world called Earth. As the ship took off, Nara looked back at Velora. The bright skies and shining rivers grew smaller and smaller. Her heart was heavy but filled with hope. The journey through space was long and quiet. Nara watched the stars from the window. She thought about her life, her curse, and what might happen on Earth. She knew she would face new challenges, but she was ready. After many days, the ship entered the atmosphere of Earth. The sky was blue, and the clouds were soft and white. Nara saw green forests, tall mountains, and wide oceans. This planet was very different from Velora, but it looked beautiful and full of life. Nara landed the ship near a small town. She stepped out, feeling the fresh air on her skin. Everything smelled different: flowers, trees, and even the air itself. It was strange but nice. As she walked through the town, people looked at her with surprise. Nara's glowing skin and shining eyes were unlike anything they had seen. Some smiled kindly, others stared in wonder. But no one rejected her. Nara felt a small spark of happiness. Maybe this was the place she was looking for. She found a quiet park and sat under a big tree. She watched children play and dogs run. For the first time in a long time, Nara felt peaceful. But she knew her journey was not over. She still had to find a way to break the curse. And maybe, just maybe, she would find a friend who could help her. For now, Nara closed her eyes and whispered to herself, "This is a new beginning. Nara woke up early the next morning, feeling a mixture of excitement and nervousness. The world around her was so different from Velora. The sun was warm on her skin, and the birds sang cheerful songs. She wondered what life on Earth would really be like. After freshening up in a small stream nearby, Nara started walking into the town. She did not know much about humans or their ways. Everything seemed strange but interesting. The buildings were tall, but not as shiny as the cities of Velora. People were busy, moving quickly with bags, phones, and strange machines. Nara watched carefully, trying to learn. She hoped to find someone kind. Someone who would listen to her and maybe even help her. But deep inside, she was still scared. What if humans rejected her, like the males on Velora? What if the curse followed her here? As she walked, she noticed a small shop with a sign that read, "Sam's Repair Shop." The windows showed old machines and tools. Nara liked the look of the place. It seemed friendly and quiet. She stepped inside. A man looked up from a broken radio. He was not very tall but had warm eyes and a gentle smile. His name was Sam. He wore simple clothes and had a few scratches on his hands, showing he worked hard. "Hello," Sam said kindly. "Can I help you?" Nara smiled shyly. "Hello. I am new here. I do not know much about this place." Sam nodded. "Well, you're welcome here. I'm Sam. What's your name?" "Nara," she replied softly. Sam smiled wider. "Nice to meet you, Nara. What brings you here?" Nara hesitated. Should she tell him about the curse? Should she tell him she was from another planet? But something about Sam felt different. He did not look scared or judgmental. He looked curious and kind. "I am different," Nara said slowly. "I come from far away. From another planet called Velora. My people, they do not accept me." Sam's eyes widened in surprise but did not show fear. "Another planet? That's amazing. I don't know much about space, but I want to learn." Nara felt relief. She nodded. "I have a curse. It makes others reject me. It is hard to live like this." Sam listened carefully. "That sounds very difficult. But you are here now, and maybe we can find a way to help." Nara smiled for the first time in a long while. "Thank you, Sam." Over the next few days, Nara visited Sam's shop often. She helped him fix machines using her alien knowledge. Sam showed her how humans used simple tools and machines. They talked about their worlds and their hopes. Sam was a patient teacher. He never asked strange questions or made Nara feel strange. He treated her like a friend. One afternoon, while they worked on a broken radio, Nara asked, "Do you believe in curses, Sam?" Sam thought for a moment. "I don't know if curses are real, but I believe in hope and kindness. Sometimes, people think something is impossible, but with the right help, things can change." Nara looked at Sam and felt a warm feeling inside. Maybe this human could help her. Maybe here on Earth, she could find what she had lost on Velora: acceptance and friendship. But not everything was easy. Some people in the town stared at Nara's glowing skin and bright eyes. Some whispered behind her back. Nara felt their looks but tried not to care. One evening, as Nara walked home from Sam's shop, a group of teenagers approached. They looked curious but not mean. "Are you from another world?" one asked. Nara nodded. "Wow, you're so different. Why do you look like that?" Nara smiled gently. "I am from far away. I want to be a friend." The teenagers smiled back, and soon they were asking questions about her planet, her life, and her stories. For the first time, Nara felt something new. She was not rejected. She was accepted. Nara's heart grew stronger. That night, she sat by the window and looked at the stars. She thought about Velora, about her curse, and about Sam. She felt hope like never before. If humans could accept her, maybe the curse was not as strong as she thought. If kindness could break the walls, maybe she could be free. Nara decided she would not give up. She would keep learning, keep trying, and keep hoping. And she would not be alone. Days turned into weeks, and Nara and Sam's friendship grew stronger. Every morning, Nara would visit Sam's repair shop, eager to learn and help. The small shop was filled with clocks, radios, and old machines that Sam carefully fixed with skill and patience. Nara found joy in watching how things worked and trying to understand Earth's technology. Sam was a quiet person but had a warm heart. He never made Nara feel strange or different. Instead, he listened carefully when she talked about her home planet, Velora, and the curse that made her life so difficult. He believed her story without doubt and wanted to help in any way he could. One afternoon, while fixing an old radio, Sam looked up and said, "Nara, do you want to learn how humans fix things? Maybe, together, we can find a way to fix your curse too." Nara's eyes shone with hope. "I want that very much." They began working on small projects together. Sam showed Nara how to use simple tools, and Nara shared what she knew about her world. Her knowledge of crystals and energy surprised Sam. She explained how certain stones from Velora could hold power, and maybe, with these stones, they could find clues about the curse. Their conversations became longer and deeper. Sam shared stories about Earth, its people, its kindness, but also its challenges. Nara listened closely, happy to find someone who cared. One evening, Sam invited Nara to his small home near the shop. It was cozy, filled with books and plants. Over cups of warm tea, they talked late into the night. Nara shared stories of her childhood, the beauty of Velora, and the sadness she felt from being rejected. Sam listened without interrupting. Then he said softly, "Nara, you are not alone anymore. Maybe the curse is not just about magic. Maybe it's about how people see you. Here, I see you as a friend. I see your kindness, your strength." Nara smiled, feeling tears in her eyes. "Thank you, Sam. Your friendship is a light in my dark world." But friendship was not the only thing growing. Nara also began to feel a new kind of strength inside her. The loneliness that had once filled her heart slowly faded. She realized that kindness and understanding could be more powerful than any curse. One day, Sam and Nara took a walk in the park. They watched children play and birds fly. Nara noticed how people smiled at each other, helped one another, and shared happiness. It was different from Velora, where beauty often decided who was accepted. On Earth, Nara said quietly, people look with their hearts, not just their eyes. Sam nodded. Yes. And that makes all the difference. But Nara's hope was soon tested. One afternoon, a man came into Sam's shop. He was tall and serious, with sharp eyes. He looked at Nara and frowned. "I don't like strangers in town," the man said coldly. "Who are you?" Sam stepped forward. "She is my friend. She means no harm." The man looked angry but said nothing more. He left, but his words made Nara feel nervous again. Was she truly safe here? Seeing her worry, Sam placed a hand on her shoulder. "Don't let fear stop you. Not everyone understands yet, but that will change." Nara took a deep breath. She remembered her mother's words about strength inside her. She knew she had to be brave. The next day, Nara decided to visit the local library. She wanted to learn more about Earth's history and cultures. Maybe knowledge could help her understand this world better and find a way to break the curse. At the library, Nara met Maya, a friendly librarian who was curious about Nara's bright eyes and glowing skin. Instead of being scared, Maya smiled and asked many questions. Nara shared some stories about Velora. Maya listened with wonder and invited Nara to join a community group where people shared stories from around the world. For the first time, Nara felt part of something bigger. She was no longer alone. She was beginning to belong. As weeks passed, more people in the town became curious about Nara. Some came to Sam's shop to meet her. They were surprised by her kindness and intelligence. Slowly, the walls of rejection began to break. One evening, while walking home with Sam, Nara looked up at the stars. "I feel stronger now. Not because the curse is gone, but because I have friends." Sam smiled. "And that is the greatest power of all." Nara nodded. "Thank you, Sam, for showing me that kindness can change everything." Sam looked at her with gentle eyes. "We will find a way to break the curse. Together." Nara's heart was full of hope. She had come a long way from the lonely girl on Velora. Now, on Earth, she had something worth fighting for: friendship, hope, and a chance to be free. Nara and Sam sat in the small repair shop one quiet afternoon. The light from the setting sun shone through the window, casting warm colors across the room. Nara held the small crystal necklace her mother had given her before she left Velora. It glowed softly in her hand. Sam watched her with concern. "Nara, I want to help you. But to do that, I need to understand this curse better. Can you tell me more?" Nara took a deep breath. She knew this would not be easy. "The curse is old. It was placed on my family many years ago by an angry spirit. It is a magic that makes every male who sees me feel nothing: no warmth, no love. They reject me, even when they do not want to." Sam listened closely. "So, the curse changes how they feel about you?" "Yes," Nara said softly. "It is like an invisible wall. No matter what I do, they cannot see me as a friend or more. It is lonely." Sam nodded slowly. "Have you ever tried to find out where the curse comes from? Maybe there is a way to break it?" Nara looked down at the necklace. "My mother told me there is an ancient artifact on Velora that holds the secret. It is hidden in the ruins of our old city. No one has been able to reach it because it is protected by old magic." Sam leaned forward, his eyes bright with determination. "Then we should try to find it? Maybe with Earth technology and your knowledge, we can reach it?" Nara smiled, feeling hope grow stronger. "I want to try." The next day, they started to prepare. Sam studied maps of Velora that Nara had drawn from her memory. Nara showed him the stones and crystals she had brought from her planet. She explained how they worked with energy. Sam brought tools from his shop: scanners, communication devices, and small drones. Together, they planned a way to explore the ruins and find the artifact. But first, Nara needed to return to Velora. She had to face the place where the curse began. The thought made her nervous. She worried about the people who had rejected her. She worried about the magic that still held her back. Sam took her hand gently. "You are stronger than you know. I will be with you." Nara felt warmth spread through her heart. She was not alone anymore. They boarded the starship, and the journey to Velora began. The ship flew fast through space, passing stars and planets. Nara looked out the window, her mind filled with memories. When they arrived, Velora looked the same: beautiful and bright. But Nara saw it with new eyes. It was no longer a place of sadness. It was a place of hope. Together, Nara and Sam traveled to the ancient ruins. The city was old and covered in glowing vines. Strange symbols shone on the walls. Nara felt the magic around her. It was strong, but she was not afraid. Using Sam's scanners, they found a hidden entrance beneath a large stone. The door was covered with crystals that pulsed with light. Nara held her necklace close. The crystals on the door began to glow brighter. "This is it," Nara whispered. Sam carefully placed his hand on the door's control panel. The crystals shifted, and the door slowly opened. Inside, the air was cool and filled with soft light. In the center of the room stood the artifact, a beautiful, glowing stone surrounded by ancient carvings. Nara stepped forward and touched the artifact. A wave of energy passed through her. Images appeared in her mind, memories of her family, the angry spirit, and the moment the curse was placed. Sam watched as Nara's eyes closed. She concentrated hard, trying to understand the magic. After a long moment, Nara opened her eyes. "The curse was meant to protect my family from danger," she said. "But the magic was too strong. It turned into a prison instead." Sam nodded. "So, if we can change the magic, we can break the curse." Nara smiled. "Yes. But we must be careful. The magic is powerful and delicate." They studied the artifact together. Sam used his devices to scan the magic, while Nara used her knowledge to understand the symbols. They worked through the night, learning how the curse was made and how it could be undone. At last, they found a ritual that could reverse the curse, but it required both their strengths, human determination and alien magic. Nara looked at Sam. "Are you ready to try?" Sam smiled. "I am ready if you are." Nara felt a new courage rise inside her. She was no longer the lonely girl who had been rejected. She was a fighter, with a friend by her side. Together, they prepared for the ritual. The future was uncertain, but hope shone brighter than ever. The room inside the ancient ruins was quiet except for the soft hum of the glowing artifact. Nara and Sam stood side by side, feeling the weight of the moment. They had learned much about the curse and how it was tied to the artifact, but the ritual to break it was still unknown. Nara touched the glowing stone again, and images filled her mind, memories of her ancestors, the moment the curse was created, and the angry spirit who had cast the spell. She saw a vision of a great mistake, a magic meant to protect, but which had trapped her family instead. Sam studied the strange symbols carved around the room. "These markings look like a language, but also like instructions," he said. "Maybe if we can understand this, we can find the ritual." Nara nodded. "I will try." She spent hours carefully tracing the symbols with her fingers. She whispered ancient words she barely remembered from her childhood. The symbols responded, glowing brighter with each word. Suddenly, a hidden panel opened on the wall, revealing a small scroll made of shining material. Nara carefully took it out and unrolled it. The scroll was old, but the writing was clear. Sam looked over her shoulder. "What does it say?" Nara read slowly. "It is the ritual, a way to reverse the curse. But it needs two things, a heart full of hope and a bond of trust between two beings." Sam smiled. "Sounds like us." Nara smiled back, feeling a warm light inside her. "Yes. But the ritual must be done carefully. If done wrong, the curse could become stronger." They prepared the space, placing the artifact and the stones from Velora in the center of the room. The air around them felt alive with energy. Sam took Nara's hand. "We are ready." Nara nodded, taking a deep breath. She began to speak the ancient words from the scroll. Her voice was soft but strong. The crystals around them began to shine with bright light. Sam repeated the words after her, his voice steady and clear. Together, their voices blended, filling the room with power. Energy swirled around them like a gentle wind. The light from the artifact grew brighter and brighter until it filled the entire room. Nara closed her eyes and felt the magic wrap around her like a warm blanket. She thought about her past, the pain, the loneliness, and then about the future, hope, friendship, and love. Sam squeezed her hand, and she opened her eyes to see him smiling. The light slowly dimmed, and the crystals stopped glowing. The room was quiet again. Nara looked at her hands, feeling different, lighter, freer. "Did it work?" she asked. Sam nodded. I think so. Let's find out. They left the ruins and returned to the town. Nara felt a new confidence in her steps. She was nervous but hopeful. The next day, Nara walked through the busy streets. People stopped and looked, but this time, no one turned away. Men smiled at her, greeted her kindly. Nara felt a warmth she had never known. The invisible wall was gone. She met Sam at the shop, her eyes bright with joy. It's true, she said. The curse is broken. Sam smiled widely. You did it, Nara. We did it. From that day, Nara's life changed. The people of the town accepted her for who she was, not just for her beauty. She made new friends, laughed, and shared her stories. But more than that, Nara learned an important lesson that true strength comes from hope, trust, and kindness. The curse had tried to take that away, but it failed. Nara looked at the stars each night, thankful for her new life and for Sam the human who saw beyond the curse and believed in her. Together, they opened a new chapter, one full of friendship, courage, and a promise that no one would ever be rejected for who they truly are. Life in the small town began to change for Nara. After the ritual, she felt a new sense of freedom. The invisible wall that once kept people away was gone. Men smiled at her, talked with her, and treated her kindly. But more important than their smiles was the warmth in their eyes, their true acceptance. Nara's days became filled with new experiences. She helped Sam in the repair shop, learning more about Earth's technology and tools. Together, they fixed radios, clocks, and even small robots. Nara loved seeing how things worked and enjoyed the simple joy of creating and repairing. One morning, as Nara and Sam arranged tools on the shelves, the doorbell rang. A young woman entered. Her name was Lila, and she was curious about the new visitor in town. Nara smiled and welcomed her warmly. Lila was kind and full of questions about Velora and Nara's journey. She listened carefully as Nara spoke about her world, her curse, and the ritual that had broken it. I am glad you are here, Lila said. Our town needs more kindness and understanding. Nara smiled. Thank you. I want to be part of this place. But not everyone was happy. Some people were still afraid of Nara's alien origins. Rumors began to spread, and some townspeople whispered about strange powers and danger. One afternoon, Nara heard voices outside the shop. A small crowd had gathered, talking loudly. She's not one of us, one man said. What if she brings trouble? Sam stepped outside and raised his hands. She is our friend. We should give her a chance. The crowd quieted but did not disappear. Nara felt her heart tighten. The fear of rejection was returning, but this time, she was not alone. She took a deep breath and stepped forward. I understand your fear. I was afraid too. But I only want to live in peace and help. A few people nodded slowly. The fear began to fade. Sam stood by her side. We all have differences. But that is what makes us strong. Days passed, and Nara continued to build friendships. She visited the local school, sharing stories about space and Velora with children. Their eyes widened with wonder, and their laughter filled the room. She realized that sharing her story helped others see beyond fear and difference. One evening, while walking home, Nara and Sam saw a shooting star streak across the sky. Nara made a quiet wish. I wish that all people could see each other with kindness, she said. Sam smiled. That is a wish worth having. But the universe had more challenges in store. One day, as Nara worked in the shop, a strange signal appeared on Sam's scanner. It was a message from Velora, urgent and filled with warning. Sam read it carefully. There is danger coming to Velora. A powerful force threatens the planet. Nara's heart skipped a beat. What kind of danger? Sam shook his head. I don't know. But we have to help. Nara looked at Sam, her eyes strong. Then we must go back. Together. They began to prepare for the journey. Nara felt a mixture of fear and determination. She had found a home on Earth, but Velora was still her family and her past. As they boarded the starship, Nara thought about how much she had grown. She was no longer the lonely girl with a curse. She was a brave woman ready to face whatever came next. The stars outside the window sparkled like hope. The future was uncertain, but Nara knew one thing for sure: she was not alone. With Sam by her side, she would face the challenges ahead. The starship moved swiftly through space as Nara and Sam returned to Velora. Nara's heart beat fast with worry and hope. The message had been clear: danger was near, and her home needed help. When they arrived, Velora looked different. The bright colors of the planet seemed dimmer, and a strange silence filled the air. Nara's people were tense and scared. Nara met with the leaders of Velora. They told her about a dark force, an ancient enemy that wanted to take control of the planet's magic and power. This enemy had been hidden for many years but was now awake. "We need your help," said the leader, his voice heavy with worry. "Your knowledge of Earth and your courage can make a difference." Nara looked at Sam. He nodded, ready to stand by her side. Together, they began to plan. Using Sam's technology and Nara's knowledge of Velora's magic, they worked to protect the planet. They repaired old defenses, activated hidden shields, and prepared the people for the coming battle. But Nara knew the most important battle was not just with enemies outside, it was with fear and doubt inside. The enemy attacked quietly at first, sending shadows to frighten the people and weaken their spirits. Many Velorans felt hopeless, but Nara stood tall. "You are stronger than the darkness," she told them. "Together, we can shine light on the shadows." Sam helped Nara organize the people. They trained warriors, shared knowledge, and built hope. One night, the enemy's forces appeared in full strength, a wave of dark energy moving toward the planet's heart. Nara and Sam stood with the defenders, ready. Nara held the glowing artifact, the same one that had held the curse and now held their hope. She felt the power of friendship, trust, and courage flow through her. Sam's steady presence gave her strength. Together, they faced the dark force. Nara spoke the ancient words she had learned, and Sam activated the technology that amplified her magic. Light and energy clashed with darkness. The sky lit up with colors never seen before. The people of Velora joined in, their hearts united. Slowly, the darkness weakened. The enemy's power broke apart like dust in the wind. The planet breathed again, bright and alive. Nara smiled, tears shining in her eyes. She had helped save her home not just with magic or technology, but with hope and courage. Sam looked at her proudly. "You did it, Nara. You showed the true power of the heart." Nara took his hand. "We did it together." After the battle, Velora began to heal. The people celebrated their freedom and the new friendship between Earth and Velora. Nara knew her journey was just beginning. She had learned that true beauty was not just in appearances but in the strength to face fears, the kindness to accept others, and the courage to change the future. She looked at Sam, her friend and partner, and knew that with him, anything was possible. As the stars shone bright above, Nara whispered a promise to herself, a promise to live with hope, to share kindness, and to never be afraid again. And so, a new chapter began, not just for Nara, but for all who believed in the power of friendship and love.